Today we'll be looking at another method of generating generative MIDI sequencer within Ableton. Putting that rack together, music can be generated literally with the press of one key on the keyboard. We'll have a quick listen, then I'll show you how the rack functions, and finally, as always, if you're interested, how you can build this rack for yourselves. So, a couple of things going on here. I have this set up I have it set on resampling, so I'm capturing any audio I generate with this MIDI rhythm generator. You can select that here. Go to resampling, put your monitor to in and arm your track, and then you can record anything that's coming through here, through the mains. So I'm using this to capture the audio. I guess in theory you could capture the MIDI output of this as well, but I'd just like to capture the audio and chop it up. Okay, so we have a single note playing here. This is playing an A2 over 32 bars, so it's just a very long loop. I just wanted to do it that way to demonstrate that effectively you can just hold a key and that will allow you to then hear your rhythm that you're generating. What do we have here then? We have analog. That's just generating the tone, a single oscillator, so we can close that. And here we have our rack, which will open up very quickly. It's based around an arpeggiator, the note echo function, scale to lock the notes into a usable scale, so that we only get notes in a scale. And then we have an expression control on the back here, which has various randomized functions, which we'll come to vary the rhythm. Okay, we'll come to that. So let's have a look then. What do we have? We have two rhythm generators. One here, rhythm 2, controls note echo, and rhythm 1 controls the arpeggiator rate. So if we manipulate this value here, unfortunately this is the default notation. We can't get quarter notes. It would be nice if we had quarter notes, half notes, whatever. But, so it's just a number to 1 to 7. But it allows us to adjust this note echo. So these are in 16th notes. So we play a note. If this is playing 8/16 after this note played by the arpeggiator, if I move it down to 1 to 1, or down to 1, now it's playing 1/16 after the arpeggiator. So if we move it to 4, we're effectively playing a quarter note. There we go. So 4/16 afterwards. So we have that on that one. And using these two rhythm controls, we can search for interesting rhythms. Now sometimes they clash, like in this example. Move it a little bit further. Maybe just move this one. So you set this up here to find a rhythm you're interested in. You can go faster. But let's stay with some slower values. Maybe I can. No, I think we'll stay with that and maybe drop that down again. Let's find a rhythm. We'll stay with a quarter note. That's very slow. And there we go. We'll stay with that. And then we have control over some additional pitches. So we have the pitch coming into the arpeggiator. We have this note echo, which if I adjust here, I believe it's this one. No, sorry, it's the other one. Excuse me. Of course, this one here allows us to adjust the pitch of the repeated note. So now we've introduced the second note. This one here is the pitch here from the arpeggiator, I believe, so we can go down. But this won't sound. Let's move that up to a 7th. This one won't sound here because effectively the pitch range here is locked at the moment. So we open up the pitch range for the arpeggiator. this is this steps function here, then we allow the arpeggiator to play a second note. So I'm only allowing it to play one additional note, which we can control here. And this opens up the range of the octaves it can play over effectively. There we go, this is this distance function here. So one additional note is coming through here, and one additional note is coming through here. That gives us these three notes that you can hear in the rhythm. Then we have the scale function. It's very simple, just locks us into a scale. We can lock ourselves into a scale here so that anything generated here is always locked into scale on the back here. So we see some notes here are playing here in grey, but they're being locked into the D minor scale. That's the next function. Then we have here the style, which is effectively the control of the arpeggiator. So we'll adjust the playback, another variation to the pattern. We can, I believe there's a random in here as well. Different random function. If you want random notes generated, we'll just stick with one of these styles. And then we have control over the note length here. Let's open this up here. And you can see we're altering our gate value here. So that allows us to vary the note length. This one here has various functions, which we'll come to in the build, but it can control it randomizes here. Let's have a look. I believe it does pitch 2. If I open this up, you'll see the value increasing here. So it has some different functions, which we'll come to in the build. It adds variation into the rhythm. And as you see, now we're generating a lot of grey notes, but they're being locked into scale. And then finally we have this rhythm groove here, which is this swing function in the arpeggiator, effectively. So we can adjust that. We can add swing. So these control how the rhythm in its base form is generated. Then we have here some modulation. Now we can modulate the level of each note that's played. This is also, I believe, a random function. Here the velocity, so we're modulating here the level here. You see that moving up and down here. So we can randomize, is it a loud note, is it going to be a softer note with this control here. And then finally we modulate as well the length. And that's also another function here, is controlling the gate, this here, and modulating that. So that we can have some variation in the length. Let's go to a slightly faster rhythm. Okay, and then finally the control here is the hold, that just holds the arpeggiator. And here you can hear we've got a nice little rhythm, then you could go and tweak your synth or whatever. Okay, once you've got your rhythm running, you can then generate here a new variant if you like. I've created some variants here, and this will save it here. Rack you would then save here. You'd find that in your user library presets MIDI Effect Racks. You'll find that here, and every time you create one of these you should also save it, otherwise these will be lost when you close. Okay, so that's how it works. Very simple. You get these lovely rhythms going. What do we have here? One more thing, the random, of course. We can risk a random. This is all set up so that we can randomize and just look for some inspiration. But if you listen to the rhythm, it'll vary over time, depending on how you modulate, especially the rhythm variation. We can open the pitch range up. And of course we can set our note values and play with these. Okay, let's try random. Push our luck a bit with the video, see what happens. Whoa! Let's slow that down. Okay, as I say, when you find something you like, you can just save it. Okay, I hope that explains the rack, what's actually going on here, what you can control. I'm triggering this with one note at the moment, but we could try something with this one here has 4 notes over 8 bars. So let's just switch to that. You get some variation in. So you can add your own adjustments to or transpose effectively the rhythm. Let's move this up. Okay, let's have a look then at how this is all put together. It's not too difficult. Just as always, you have to be a little bit careful with things and just how you assemble it. But we'll have a look. It's not too tough. So I've kept my original MIDI Effect Rack. You'll find that here in MIDI Effects, MIDI Effect Rack. Just drag one in onto a channel. We have then here the possibility to open up the macros. You'll have macro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've renamed mine here. You can use my names or you can choose your own, that's up to you. We'll be using, what do we have? That's 3, 6, 7, 14 macros today. Not all the 16, so you need 14 macros for this rack. Let's just put that on there so we don't get that flashing the whole time. Okay, so the MIDI effects we're going to need, well, we're going to need the arpeggiator. We'll drop that one in here. We'll also be needing a scale and the note length here. So let's have note echo we'll be needing. Then we have the scale here, and finally an expression control on the back. Okay, so those are in. So we'll just go through very quickly. I'll just make sure there's a few things we might have to set up here. Some of these we will map. So there's nothing on the arpeggiator we need to change. So we'll close that for a second. We have the note echo here. Here we have to make some settings. We want to set the delay to 100 and the feedback we set to 0. That then will only trigger one note. The scale, there's nothing we need to set up there. That will also map. So we can close these two. The expression control, we need to have 4 random here. So we'll go to the bottom one here, click on here. We'll change this to random. Where are you hiding that? This one also random, this as well random. And the final one here random. And then we'll make a couple of settings here. So this one I had set to 8 steps. The random I had to 100%. We leave it at unipolar, and this we will map later. We'll also do the mapping here later as well. So that's that one. Let's go to the second. This one again, 100, 8 steps. This one I set to bipolar. and this we will map, and the target we will map in a second again. The third one, this is also bipolar, and the random we will map in this instance, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll also map this in a second. And finally here, this one is also set to bipolar, and again we will be randomizing this value, so we don't have to worry about that at the moment. Okay, so that's set up. Okay, as I say, we'll open these up and we'll do a little bit of mapping. We need to map here for the arpeggiator. We can map the style, go into our mapping mode. We can map the style here. We can map the rate here to our rhythm 1 rate. The distance, so the distance here we can map to our pitch note 3. The steps we map here to the pitch 3 range. The gate we will map to the note length. Then we have the groove, which we can map to our rhythm groove here. And then finally we map this rhythm offset to our rhythm variation here. So those are the parts of the arpeggiator that needed mapping. Now we can look at the note echo. For the note echo, we take here this delay time and we map that here to the rhythm 2 rate. And then we have the pitch here. This goes to pitch note 2. So that's mapped there. I believe that's everything for the note echo. Now we have the scale. We'll take the root note here, and the scale, which is this user here, we'll map that here to the scale function. Okay, now we have some work to do on the expression control. So we'll start with the bottom function here, and we'll have to open these up again because we have some values we need to map. Okay, so this one we need to map here to the target on our velocity. And actually we need to just pop out of the mapping here. Forgot we need to activate this here. We need to activate that. So that one's done. Now we can go back into the mapping. Then we have the second here. So the second one here we will map here to our gate function, which I believe is this one here. So that one's mapped as well. The third random function here, this we will map to the pitch of note 3. So we'll map that there. Then we have the final expression control, which we will map to the pitch of note 2 here. So those are two all mapped. Okay, so now we can go back here. Actually, we can stay on this one here, pitch note 2. We need to map this output range. This one we need to map to our rhythm variation. And then we need to pop down to the second one here, pitch note 3. We'll do the same thing. We'll map that one also to the rhythm variation. So we have those two mapped. Then we go here and we get the gate here, this value here, the output range here, and we want to map that to our length mod here. And then finally at the bottom here, we take this one and map that to our level mod here. So those are now mapped. Finally, we have here on the arpeggiator, we'll take this hold and map that here. Just have a look. It looks like we've got everything mapped. Oh, there's a couple more I've forgotten here. Actually, we need to go back to the first one here. And this is pitch note 2. We need to map this one here, the random value. also to this rhythm variation. And then we drop one down here again to pitch note 3, and we'll take this random value, click on that, and we'll also map that to the rhythm variation here. Okay, so I think those are the last ones. Let me have a look. Right, so all we need to do is put some constraints in here, which I'll now put up as a screenshot for you. You can pause the video, change the constraints to match the screenshots, and then this should all work. Okay, so once you've done that, we'll test it and make sure that everything works okay. Yeah, just be careful, make sure they're okay. This one here, you see I inverted a couple of these, and I've made some settings here, reduced some of the values. But as I say, if you have these values, the value from the screenshot, everything should work fine. So let's close that now and try. We can get this running again, see if everything's okay. I might go back to my snapshot here. I'll just choose a snapshot. Okay, seems to be working. Let's try the 8-bar. Now, if you want to do randomizing, then some of these have been excluded. This one was excluded from the randomization. I think that's the only one, so let's have a quick look. I might have excluded the pitch as well. The pitches I tend to exclude. So I've excluded this value and this one here. Pitch, that was included. So just these two and the hold. So we can try random, see what happens. Okay, as I say, you can, when you find a rhythm you like, just save it as a new snapshot. The rack is saved here. Use the library, presets, MIDI effects, MIDI Effect Rack. You'll find it in here. Yeah, have a go, and hope you can make use of it. See you in the next one. Take care. Thank you.